Coming up on City Spotlight, the focus is on KZ. We'll talk with the Mayor of KZ, Nik Groothuis, and Megan Clark, KZ Economic Development Director. We'll discuss the latest economic development in KZ, as well as public works in KZ, and upcoming events taking place in KZ. And we'll end the program with a feature on the big things in KZ with Jim Bolin. We're talking KZ next on City Spotlight. City Spotlight is supported by Consolidated Communications. CCI is honored to salute the cities and their leaders in the area, as well as providing TV, internet, and phone service to local homes and businesses. We live where we work and are proud to support the communities we serve. More information available at consolidated.com. And welcome to another edition of City Spotlight. We're back in the studio after several on-location episodes, and today we are talking KZ. We welcome back to the program the Mayor of KZ, Nik Groothuis. Welcome, Nik.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Good to see you again. And Megan Clark, she's the KZ Economic Development Director. Welcome back, Megan.
Thank you.
Congratulations on your recent marriage.
Thank you.
Very good. Good to have you guys both in. We had KZ on this past fall for the first time. We look forward to talking with you here on this second City Spotlight episode on KZ. And let's start with economic development. We talked last fall about new businesses that had come in, and that momentum has carried on. Let's talk about some recent changes. Sweet Norma Jeans changed locations.
Yeah.
And a new Mexican restaurant just a few days before this taping opened. Tell us about those two places, please.
Yeah, so Sweet Norma Jeans, the bakery in KZ, has moved from their location on Central to Main Street, and they've had a lot of success with it. A lot more visibility, and they've also increased their menu as well. So they've been super busy since that change. Mm-hmm. And then also we had the Luna's Mexican Bistro open up on Central. And they opened up on the 7th, this Saturday. So it's just been a few days, but it sounds like we've had some good reviews from the customers that have gone there.
Excellent. New business in KZ there, Mexican Bistro. Also, you mentioned another boutique for KZ?
Yeah, there's a lease signed on a new boutique. We don't have any information on the name or what they're going to have, but that is going to be coming this spring.
All right, very good. Nik, again, continued growth with businesses, and we talked about 4 had been on the way back in the fall and 3 more on the way, and some of those were right there that we just mentioned. Talk about this continued momentum with businesses in the downtown area.
It's pretty exciting. We continue to get phone calls and people asking about, and I think I mentioned this last fall, about potential buildings downtown. We're limited to an extent about the buildings, but there's still going to be some opportunities for people. One lady in particular is has bought a building and is redoing it, and it will potentially have 3 businesses in it. So, and I know she's had some interaction as well from some people. And there's a business across from where Sweet Norma Jeans moved into that just changed hands, and it's Old Cumberland Mercantile, and it's going to be opening this week, I believe, sometime. So yeah, still momentum of businesses, new businesses coming into town. And
lots of new ideas.
Yes.
People coming up with ideas and just trying to figure out how to start those businesses in KZ.
Good to hear about that again. Similar phrases and words you've used there last fall. People wanting to come to KZ, and the economic development continues to move in the right direction there. Very good. Megan, you mentioned to me before taping a possible new library in the works.
Yeah, so the KZ Township Library, they've been fundraising for a potential expansion of the current library, and then also a kind of like a remodel, but they want to keep the historic preservation there. So that's kind of one of the big projects that's going on in KZ right now.
Next, don't make changes to libraries or facilities like that too often in any town.
No, and I think the important part is the architecture will remain pretty much the same that it is now, because it is a historic building, and a lot of people have mentioned, boy, we sure hope that it doesn't change the facade too much of the current library. So I don't believe it's going to. It's really a nice addition.
Yeah, so currently they're not ADA accessible. So wheelchairs cannot get into the library. So when people that are in wheelchairs want to rent books, the library ladies are actually coming out with those books or meeting them. So that's the first thing. And then expanding the current programs that are going on there. So like they have like Mother Goose on the Loose for little kids and different programs like that. And they want to expand that.
All right. Has the additions, changes, have they already kind of started, or when do we expect things to get rolling on that?
So they basically have the plan for the actual building, and it's a $2 million project. So they're in the process of fundraising that. I would assume that it's probably a 3 to 5 year plan or project.
I would guess that's right.
We'll see how that goes over time, hopefully smoothly and quickly. From economic development and works of a new library, springtime is very busy for municipalities and with regards to public works. Obviously, we talked last fall about Marshall sending water over this way to Casey, and there's some recent sewer work that's been completed, Nick?
Yeah, we had a sewer project that's been ongoing for about 2.5 years. It was initiated because of the EPA requiring some changes in our sewer plant, and now it's just virtually all done. It's kind of a running joke at the council meetings when we present a bill for the sewer project. Now, is this going to be the last one? And we always say we hope so, but I think there may be still a couple of dollars here and a couple of dollars there that need to be spent, but it was about an $11 million project, so it was a big project. And the water project wasn't nearly as big, but when you have to run 17 miles of water pipe, it takes a while, and we've gotten that online just this last fall, I believe, pretty close to when we taped the last time.
I believe you had mentioned it was about to happen. So.
Yes, and we've had lots of comments that the water quality is better. We don't have to use as many chemicals, virtually none, a little bit of chlorine because of its dissipation on its way through the pipe, but both those have been excellent projects for us and added to our infrastructure as well, and the possibility of other types of industries coming in and utilizing that added infrastructure then.
Unique collaboration there between two Clark County towns. Very
yes.
Good. Any other public works you want to report, Nick, as we move forward here from spring into possible summer? Or?
Oh, there's always things that can be done in municipalities. I'm thinking particularly in our park. We're hopefully going to be focusing on some of that. We've got some road work that just absolutely has to be done. I think it was probably in the late 60s when it was redone last, and it needs some major overhaul as far as roads go. We're looking to extend a walking path that we have in the park currently. We're looking to possibly put in a dog park down at the park. The council just recently approved a disc golf, frisbee golf 9-hole course down at the park. So we've got lots of things going on down there.
All right, very good. A lot of things to look forward to at Fairview Park. Very good. All right, let's talk about some upcoming events, Megan. Quite a few things going on. A couple of things that are taking place between our taping and when this program airs. So we have the circus coming to town and also a food truck festival. Tell us about those, please.
Yeah, so the people that put on the Popcorn Festival are hosting a circus at Fairview Park. And then the food truck festival is kind of an effort to bring people to Casey and to eat and then kind of experience our shops down Main Street. So we're hoping to have some events for kids as well, such as a jump house or face painting. And there'll be about 5 different food trucks there from around Casey that will be there.
Fantastic.
And that'll be a new experience for our folks as well. I mean, you have your typical festival types of trailers, but not like a food truck. So it'll be something a little different.
Awesome. Some other events here going on late April into May. On April 28th, we have the Casey Involvement Fair. What's that?
Yeah, so we currently have an intern for the Sports, Tourism, and Recreation intern. And this is actually a organizational event that she's put together to promote the different organizations in Casey. So basically, she's inviting the public out to go to each of those booths and see if they want to volunteer, if they want to become involved in different things going on in Casey.
Okay. Next on my list here, May 16th, Motors on Main.
Yes, so that's part of the Crazy Casey Days. Basically, there's going to be a car show there. And there's some other events like a swap meet? A swap meet and the flea market type. Mm-hmm. Okay. And that should be a fun event.
And Nick, you mentioned Casey Saddle Club Friday Night Light Series. I think I got it right.
Yeah, that's kind of exciting. Last year, they had several events down at their saddle club, and it's good to have them down at the park. It brings a little different venue to the park. People are interested in those saddle club shows, and to have them scheduled on a regular basis is important too, I think, from their aspect, so people know when they're going to be there and doing that. And we have campers come in at the same time with their horses, and so it's just kind of a fun activity for everyone.
And that'll be airing once a month from May, June, July, and August.
Yes.
We'll have those dates there. And a couple more events here. May 19th, Clark County Shop with a Cop. And also May 27th over at Fairview Park, we have the horseshoe tournament.
Yeah. So the Shop with a Cop event, one of our local police officers has actually put this together along with our police department and the Clark County Police Association. So what they're doing is they're hosting that golf tournament to raise money for Shop with a Cop. So Shop with a Cop is basically where they take kids out shopping for Christmas. So it's a really good event, and I think that it's one of the first events for Shop with a Cop for Casey. So should be a good thing.
And there's been several horseshoe tournaments over the years at the Charles Cook Courts. So yes, look forward to that annual Memorial Day horseshoe tournament there. In our next segment, we'll have a feature with Jim Bolin and the Big Things, and that was a story that was part of Casey This Is Our Story, which was a WEIU program aired on March 29th, and Nick, the opportunity for 24 stories to be shared to the world about Casey.
Very interesting stories, even for a guy like me that grew up in Casey and went through some of those times. But it is interesting. As I mentioned before, there are some folks that say, well, how come we didn't get this story told or whatever? That just happens. But the ones that were told, they were very interesting, very well told, and very accurate. And I know they have to be edited, and shortened up. But there were some things that didn't get in that growing up there, I can say, oh yeah, but I remember that part of it. So a good opportunity to focus on our community and some history of our community.
You mentioned history, and I was chatting with you two before we started taping. One little nugget that we learned, that some people at the premiere night they didn't remember that Casey was named Cumberland originally. So that's a little historical nugget there. Mm-hmm. All right, very good. Some observations of mine about the Big Things. After we taped last fall, I came to Casey there on a fall Monday, and I noticed all the people in town, they're just on a fall day, let alone all the activity you guys get with people coming to town during the warm months. That was really cool to see. And also this past weekend, I was in Terre Haute with my family, and on the way back on I-70, I noticed one of the many signs there for the Big Things there. So Megan, I think I asked you last fall about this, and I think you have an answer for me, a little bit about tracking the data of the number of people that come to Casey. How are you guys tracking that information?
Yeah, so currently in 2 of the different shops that we have, there's guest sign-in books. And the Chamber of Commerce actually is putting together that information. They're working with an Eastern student to pull that data and then basically show us where everyone's coming from and where we need to market to. So it's a good start for us.
All right, and one other little nugget about the Big Things, and as a result of the Big Things, you guys have tours. I noticed, I was perusing Facebook one day, and I noticed that Megan was on a tour bus, and you guys had a tour that came through Casey there and visited City Hall. Talk about the tours that you give to folks in town.
Yeah.
The Bolins have usually set up those tours, not set up the tours. The tour people call Bolins and say, hey, we're bringing a bus load of folks. We'd like to hear something about the Big Things, and Jim does a little spiel about that. we offered City Hall as a drop-off point for some of those tour buses, and that's kind of fun for us as well to have them in City Hall and be able to tell them a few things about the city. But right now, I think we have about 20 that we've been notified of. Wow. There will be some that will just come and not notify us. But those that do, we've got a little plan for them, and I think that helps get them started on the right foot anyhow in our downtown.
In the feature coming up here in our next segment, Jim talks kind of about the origin of the big things. Since we taped that, what can you guys tell us about the next wave of big things?
Well, it sounds like there's potentially 3 new ones in store. I know that we have a large gavel that's actually going to be going to the Clark County Courthouse, so in Marshall.
Wow.
And that's kind of a nice collaboration where our big things will be seen otherwhere.
It's on the move.
Yeah,
yes.
It is. Big things on the move. Yeah. And then the teeter-totter.
Okay.
And then I know that he's kind of working on some other ideas as well. Maybe not world's largest, but big things for sure.
Mm-hmm. As if hit double figures now on the big things, if my math is correct.
Yeah.
Excellent. Very good. Great things going on in Casey, and we appreciate having Casey on City Spotlight once again. The Mayor of Casey, Nik Groothuis. Good to see you again, Nick.
Good to be here. Thanks for inviting us.
Pleasure. And Megan Clark, Casey Economic Development Director. Good to see you again, Megan.
Thank you. Good to see you too.
Excellent. And coming up next here on City Spotlight, we'll have a feature on the big things with Jim Bolin. But first, let's take a look at some of the upcoming activities going on in Casey.
Big things in a small town in Casey it just kind of happened. It wasn't a grand plan of any sorts. It wasn't a let's jot all this down and this is a pathway we're going to take to get Casey on the map again, so to speak. Going back to my sense of community and I love my hometown like every red-blooded American always loves their hometown, but it's just special to me, and I have a lot of memories here, and I grew up here. And in the beginning of my lifetime, I seen the good times of Casey start on this downslide. So my whole life in Casey, I've seen it deteriorate. Not because of anybody's fault in the community. It's just how the world's evolving today and how the United States evolved and how things are moving to bigger towns. And taking that and thought, I've just always cared about our community and the folks that's in it and the tight-knitness of folks. And having that, I just was really involved in Casey. Was fortunate enough to be able to stay in Casey because of our family business. And so I was able to stay here and raise my family and be a part of the community in the adult sense of it. So as I was going through that process, I got involved in the Casey Booster Club and different the Casey Airport and just different kind of boosters and get involved with the community and tried to help foster some changes in that area. Of one year back in 2005, we rebuilt the football field. That kind of sparked my inner fire on doing more for the community. A few years after that, the Hoosingay's done the track and put a practice field and rebuilt the track, and we helped some on that with them, and that was another community effort that was really fun to do. It just happened that one of our family vacations out in Denver, Colorado, we went to a little town off 70, just west of Denver. It was called Georgetown. We rode a little train up to Silver Plume, and my wife's aunt, Gail Green, is Dowling now, but she asked Diane to go by in this tea shop in Silver Plume, Colorado, and just look around and see what she thought, because her friend ran it. And we'd done that, and my kids and my wife went away from there saying, man, this is something we need for our town. So it was just chatter coming back from Colorado about how we should do this, that, and the other. And that was around 2008, 2009. And the chatter got to be really noisy then because they drugged my mom into it. And so they started thinking about this. And I wanted to see their dream come true because they just thought it was be a neat spot for Casey. So I said, if we're going to do this, I want to do it, but I don't want to start another food business downtown and just try to compete for the same folks that's in the town. I said, I don't want to, we already have our family business. I don't want to start another business and come in and compete for the same customers. If we're going to do this, we're going to think outside the box. We're going to try to get new customers here to our store and help our neighboring businesses to expand their businesses also. So, and then that's where the wind chime come in. My grandmother had wind chimes when I was a kid, and Letha Whitling, and every time I hear a wind chime, I think of her. It just gives me just an awesome, cozy feeling, about how smells and sounds just do that. But one evening I was listening to my wind chimes at home, and I thought, I wonder what the world's largest wind chime is. So I looked it up, and being a pipeline company and wind chimes are pipe, I thought, what the heck, it would be an easy do. So I designed a wind chime. Checked into the Guinness World Record because I thought we needed to have some kind of a staple that we are it. So we checked into the Guinness book and found out the pathway we had to go for that, and we started in roughly probably late 2009, and around 2011 we completed the wind chime. We erected it that fall. In June of 2012. We opened up the tea shop beside it. It's called the Whitling Whimsy, double W, and it's a whimsical place, and it was named after my grandmother, Letha Whitling. So that's where it's got its name from. So, and that was supposed to be the end of the story. But as things progressed, we kept seeing all the out-of-state license plates that would park there, and people asking questions, and the buzz going around. And of course we got into Facebook and travel. There's some travel apps and stuff like that, and we've seen this growth. So our family business just decided to let's see what else that we can do to capture some more attention for Casey, and maybe have a new economic tool for our community, which would be tourism. The family decided to do another project, and we decided to do the world's largest golf tee. And as we was building that, my wife's cousin, Jeanette Husengay, has a yarn studio at the corner, and I like to chainsaw carve. And so I set out and while we was doing the golf tee, I'd done two more Guinness Book records. It would be a world's largest crochet hook and the world's largest knitting needles, and donated them to Jeanette, and she actually used them to get into the Guinness Book. The golf tee was completed, and we erected it out at the golf course. We done some work out there, and so we had 4 world's largest, and that's when I really seen that this is something that's really going to stick. If you notice on all of our world's largest stuff, we have a scripture, and God's blessed our business in the pipeline business tenfold. I mean, He just blessed us more than we can conceive. So we just wanted to give back our community, and we wanted to give back to our Lord. So a lot of our things either has it all has scripture on it. Some of them has some hidden designs in it with doves and olive branches. After we completed the golf tee and got it up, we kicked in 4 more. We'd end up doing the world's largest pair of wooden shoes, the world's largest mailbox, the world's largest rocking chair, and then we got the world's largest pitchfork. And that gives us 8 now. And we have some future ones coming out. how we got the name Big Things in a Small Town is kind of neat, because we was all in our office sitting around, and they said, what are you going to do when somebody beats the wind chime? And we sat around, and I said, well, it'll still be a big thing in a small town. So that's where we dubbed that, and we actually trademarked that and kept that phrase. So, and then that sparked another venture of just building some large items, not necessarily the world's largest. We got a large bird cage, a large pencil, a large ruler, a large cactus, and we have other things that's coming down the pike that's going to be put around town. That'll be the largest things. The great thing about it is to see the communities get excited about their hometown again, and taking pride in what they see. And I can't name how many people has come up and thanked our family for making an effort, because they're proud to, when their relation comes back to visit them, they're just proud to be able to take them around and show them this and what's going on here. And the tourist side of the people coming through is exciting. If I didn't have a day job that I had to be at work every day, I would just love to walk around and visit with the tourists, because what's really cool is you just kind of blend in with them, and you act like you don't have anything to do with this, and just listen to what they say and how they talk, and it's just uplifting. We want you to be able to come to Casey and not spend a dime, but yet go around and see all this stuff. But if you want to spend the day and eat lunch and eat supper or eat breakfast or just hang out, that's there too. It's just whatever. But the family atmosphere is what I was after. It doesn't get old talking about the big things in a small town. I'm hoping that all this stuff results into a few small factories coming into Casey one of these days, and things keep building up. But no, the story never gets old, because the story's changing every day for Casey, because it's neat. I mean, the big things brings people in the first time, the second time, and maybe a third time. But what keeps people coming back is going to be the small shops that open up, and the relationships that people build with the tea shops and the coffee shops, because that's how we found out about the one in Silver Plume, is because of the relationship that my wife's aunt had with this lady running the shop, and just loved her to death. You know what I mean? And that's what started this whole road. So in the end result, it's going to be relationships and journeys. The big things is just the stepping stool to get people in, to open up their hearts and get to know our community and the people that's in the community.
City Spotlight is supported by Consolidated Communications. CCI is honored to salute the cities and their leaders in the area, as well as providing TV, internet, and phone service to local homes and businesses. We live where we work and are proud to support the communities we serve. More information available at consolidated.com.